Right, the first thing you need to know about a saw is there's different types of teeth. This one's got very, very fine teeth. This one's got more coarse teeth, which I don't like. And this one, unfortunately, which is very old, has got even finer teeth. And the teeth, one tooth faces this way and the next one faces that way, and they are sharpened at an angle, at different angles. And this saw, particular saw, is sharpened on the back of the tooth and the front of the tooth. So it cuts when you pull and it cuts when you push. It actually cuts more when you push. Now the secret to making a straight line is to be able to follow the line exactly. And usually with a saw, this piece here is set at 90 degrees to that. They're not very accurate, but to make a more accurate cut, you use a T-square. But if you haven't got one of these, usually that is set to 90 degrees. And so what you do is you put it up against the wood, like that there, is up against the edge of the wood, and then you mark a line there. And the secret of getting an accurate cut is using a very sharp pencil, or even more accuracy is using a knife. So that, you've marked the line, and then what you need to do is, obviously we're going to keep this piece of wood, and that is the waste, and we're going to throw that piece away, that side of the line. Don't know if you can see the line, just about. So we've got to cut on the waste side of the wood. And remember that the teeth, you don't want to cut in the middle of the line, because you've probably measured this piece of wood accurately. So you've got to cut on that side of the line to leave it exactly in the right place. But you need something firm to be able to push against. Now you can either clamp it to your bench, or you can put a screw in, which is what I often do. So you can get a screw and screw it to your bench, and you have something to push up against. I'm going to use this blunt saw, which unfortunately is worn out and has hit some nails, so it's not very accurate, but you won't be able to see the line easily, but the saw has to be on that side. And what you do is put your thumb like that, and then you put the edge of the saw up against your thumb, knuckle of your thumb. So you set your hand on the wood, and then put the saw right there, and rather than push, you don't push, you pull it backwards. So you just make a little groove in the wood, and once you've got a little groove, that will guide you. And you look very closely at the line, and don't bend the saw that way and don't bend it that way. You try and keep it straight so that you cut and just leave the line there. I've had so much practice that I can cut a pencil line in half, even down the length of a door. As I said, this saw is absolutely worn out. It's hit nails, it's gone rusty, and some of the teeth are missing. But that will give you a really nice straight cut. And you can check it with a T-square by setting that T-square on there. And as I said, those saws aren't usually very square. This set square is accurate. I don't expect you can see it, but at the bottom corner there's a little gap, and that means it's not square. So this is the best thing to use to cut it absolutely square. But if you're just making general things around, you don't need to worry about that. Now if you were cutting a big piece of wood like this, you need to mark it all the way around, because you don't want to cut that wood at an angle sloping like that. It needs to be square. So you decide where you're going to cut it. Let's say we're going to cut 2 inches off of there. You mark it, put this up against there, and draw your line. And then you put that there and mark the line straight down there. That goes square. And then what you do is, again, put your knuckle or your thumb like that and pull it backwards, and just make a couple of small cuts backwards, and that will get you started. And then what you do is you cut along the top a little bit. And I haven't got it against the screw, and it keeps doing that. So I'm going to put it against the screw. And once you cut a little bit there, you then look down that line there and start cutting down there a little bit to make sure you're following that line. And then you come back here and cut the top piece again. And then you cut down there again. And once you have cut a groove down there, a little bit in, the saw will automatically follow it, and you don't need to look down that way again, and it will cut it off absolutely square. But as I said, this saw is absolutely worn out. I have a slightly better saw here, but it's still not good. But I can't buy decent saws here. That is rather a big piece of wood to be cutting with a handsaw, but it's quite possible, but you need to be used to it. And then you will see, if you put this T-square on there, I don't know if you can see how close it follows that line there. I can't see it because it's in the sun. And then that's how you get that square down there. And there's your first lesson in how to cut a piece of wood.